You walk into a dark room, and your hand finds the light switch without looking. You catch a falling glass before your mind even registers it slipped. You know someone is angry before they say a single word. You call this instinct. But the real answer is far stranger. What you are calling instinct is actually a skill, a trained, inherited, deeply practiced skill that your body has been rehearsing for millions of years, and you have almost completely forgotten that you are using it. Think about the last time you walked down a crowded street. You did not calculate the distance to every person around you. You did not consciously plan each step. Your body did it for you. It adjusted your pace. It rotated your shoulders. It read the tiny shifts in a stranger's posture and decided, in a fraction of a second, whether to move left or right. This is not luck. This is not magic. This is a system so old that it predates language itself. Scientists call this proprioception, the sense of where your body is in space without needing to look at it. But proprioception is only half the story. The other half is something researchers now call embodied cognition, the idea that your body is not just a vehicle for your brain, but an active partner in thinking itself. Your muscles remember. Your skin predicts. Your spine calculates risk before your conscious mind even catches up. For most of human history, this was not a background feature. It was survival. Picture an early human standing at the edge of a forest 60,000 years ago. There is no time to sit down and reason through the situation. There is a rustle in the grass. The decision to freeze, run, or grab a weapon has to happen faster than thought. And it did. Anthropologist Sarah Blaffer HRDY has spent decades studying how early human survival depended on rapid, whole-body responses to environmental threats, responses that bypassed slow, deliberate reasoning entirely. The body reacted first. The mind explained it afterward. This is strange when you sit with it. Your ancestors were not thinking their way through danger. They were feeling their way through it. Their bodies were the first responders, and their brains were often just catching up, writing the story after the decision had already been made. Does that unsettle you a little? It should, because it means a huge portion of what you consider your personality, your gut feelings, your first impressions, may not be coming from the part of you that talks. It may be coming from a much older, much quieter part of you that never learned to use words at all. Here is where it gets even stranger. This bodily intelligence was not just about danger. It was also about connection. Before humans had complex spoken language, they had something else. They had rhythm. They had touch. They had the ability to read another body's tension and match it, or soften it. Researcher Stephen Porges, known for developing what is called polyvagal theory, has shown that the human nervous system is constantly scanning the people around it for safety or threat, a process he calls neuroception. This happens without conscious awareness. Your body is reading a room before you have even decided to pay attention to it. Think about the last time you sat across from someone who made you uneasy for no clear reason. You could not explain it. Nothing was technically wrong, but your shoulders tensed anyway. Your breathing shortened. Your body had already made a decision, and your mind was left scrambling to justify it after the fact. This is the forgotten skill, not a superpower, not a mystical sense, just an ancient, physical intelligence that once kept your ancestors alive in a world with no walls, no locks, no streetlights, and no way to know what was coming except by feeling it approach. So what happened? Why does this feel so unfamiliar now? The answer has to do with how modern life is built. Your ancestors lived in small, tight-knit groups, surrounded by constant physical and social feedback. Every glance, every posture, every shift in tone carried information they needed to survive. But modern environments are quieter in a very specific way. You spend hours reading text on a screen instead of reading a face. You spend commutes staring at a phone instead of scanning a room. The body's ancient sensing system did not disappear. It just stopped being asked to work as hard. Psychologist Bessel van der Kolk has spent much of his career studying how the body holds onto experience long after the conscious mind has moved on, showing that physical sensation and emotional memory are deeply intertwined in ways talk alone cannot fully access. In other words, your body is still taking notes, even when your mind has stopped paying attention. This is why a certain song can make your chest tighten before you even remember the memory attached to it. This is why a particular smell can pull you back into a moment you thought you had forgotten. Your body was there first. It is still keeping the archive. Here's the twist. This ancient system is not something you lost. It is something you stop listening to. Athletes know this intimately. A basketball player does not calculate the exact arc needed for a three-point shot using geometry in real time. Their body already knows. Thousands of repetitions have built a physical intelligence that operates faster than conscious thought ever could. A skilled dancer does not think through each transition. Their body has absorbed the pattern so completely that thinking would actually slow them down. This is not so different from your early ancestors reading a thread in the grass. It is the same system, just repurposed. Practice something enough, and your body stops waiting for permission from your mind. It simply acts. And this is where the real question comes in. If your body once knew how to sense danger, connection, rhythm, and safety without a single word being spoken, what happens when you spend your entire life inside your head instead? You lose fluency. Not the ability itself, but the practice of listening to it. Modern life rewards the analytical mind. School rewards it. Work rewards it. Even conversation has become something we often plan out in advance rather than feel our way through. But somewhere underneath all of that, the old system is still running, still scanning, still calculating risk, safety, and connection in ways your conscious mind never gets credit for. Have you ever made a decision that turned out to be right, but you could not explain why at the time? That was not luck. That was your body speaking a language older than logic, a language it has been fluent in since long before humans had words for anything at all. There is something almost humbling about this. We like to believe our minds are in charge, carefully reasoning through every choice. But so much of what shapes your day, your relationships, your sense of safety or unease, is happening below that layer entirely. Not because your body is broken or your mind is weak, but because this is how humans were built to survive in the first place. Thinking was never meant to do all the work alone. So the next time your hand finds the light switch in the dark without hesitation, or your stomach tightens before you understand why, do not brush it aside as nothing. That is not nothing. That is the same forgotten skill your ancestors used to read a forest, a stranger, a threat, or a friend, still alive in you, still working quietly in the background, still trying to speak in a language your mind forgot how to hear. You walk into a dark room, and your hand finds the light switch without looking. And now you know exactly why.